Most people shop for SUVs by following hype, ads, or whatever is trending that year. That usually leads them toward expensive models that look good on paper but start costing real money once the warranty is gone. What gets ignored are the SUVs that quietly do their job year after year, without drama, without big repair bills, and without constant trips back to the dealer. There are affordable SUVs that owners keep for a long time simply because they work. They are not pushed by salespeople, they do not dominate headlines, and they rarely show up in flashy comparisons. But in the real world, these are the vehicles people trust, maintain easily, and feel good about owning long after the payments stop. In this video, we are looking at affordable, reliable SUVs everyone overlooks, and why skipping them often ends up being the more expensive choice. Number 12. Mazda CX-50. The Mazda CX-50 is one of the most affordable, reliable SUVs everyone overlooks in the 2026 market. While many new SUVs focus on flashy updates and rising prices, this one stays focused on long-term ownership. It is built for buyers in the United States who want something dependable without overpaying or worrying about costly problems later. Reliability is the CX-50's biggest strength. Mazda chose proven mechanical systems instead of complicated new tech that often fails after the warranty period. That approach pays off over time. Many owners report trouble-free driving well past 100,000 miles with regular maintenance. There are no widespread engine or transmission complaints tied to this model, which keeps repair anxiety low. Affordability also plays a huge role in why this SUV deserves more attention. The starting price sits in the low $30,000 range, which feels reasonable in a segment where prices keep climbing fast. Ownership costs stay under control, too. Insurance rates are fair, fuel costs remain manageable, and routine service does not come with premium-level bills. Another reason the CX-50 is overlooked is its quiet reputation. It does not dominate headlines with recalls or viral complaints. It simply works day after day. That lack of drama often makes it less visible online, but it is exactly what long-term buyers benefit from the most. In 2026, the Mazda CX-50 remains a smart choice for anyone who values long-term reliability over hype. Number 11. Honda Passport. The Honda Passport is another affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks in the 2026 lineup. It sits in an odd space where it is often ignored in favor of flashier nameplates, yet it delivers exactly what many American buyers say they want: long-term dependability, solid performance, and predictable ownership costs. Reliability is where the Passport quietly earns its keep. Honda built this SUV with proven engines and drivetrains that have been on the road for years. That matters because consistency reduces surprises. Owners regularly report high-mileage ownership with minimal issues, and major failures are rare when basic maintenance is followed. Affordability also plays a big role. The Passport starts in the mid-$30,000 range, which is competitive for its size and capability. More importantly, it avoids the hidden costs that hurt buyers later. Insurance rates stay reasonable, parts are widely available, and repair labor does not come with luxury pricing. Over 5 to 10 years, those savings add up fast. The reason the Honda Passport is overlooked is simple. It is not trying to impress anyone. It does its job quietly year after year without drama or inflated promises. In 2026, the Honda Passport remains an affordable, reliable SUV for buyers who value consistency more than attention. Number 10. Subaru Crosstrek. The Subaru Crosstrek is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, even though it has one of the strongest long-term ownership records in its class for 2026. Many buyers dismiss it as too common or too simple, but that simplicity is exactly why it lasts and why costs stay under control year after year. Reliability is the Crosstrek's core strength. Subaru has refined this platform over time instead of constantly changing it. That means fewer surprise failures and fewer expensive fixes down the road. Owners regularly push past 100,000 miles with routine maintenance, and serious mechanical complaints remain uncommon. Affordability also works in the Crosstrek's favor. The starting price lands in the high $20,000 range, which is rare in today's SUV market. Fuel costs stay low, insurance remains reasonable, and replacement parts are easy to find across the United States. Long-term ownership is where this SUV saves the most money, not just at the dealership. Another reason it gets overlooked is its quiet reputation. The Crosstrek does not make headlines for breakdowns or recalls. It also does not rely on aggressive marketing. It simply builds trust over time, which does not create online buzz, but creates loyal owners who keep their vehicles longer than average. In 2026, the Subaru Crosstrek remains a smart pick for anyone who wants affordable reliability without surprises. Number 9. Mitsubishi Outlander. The Mitsubishi Outlander is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks in the 2026 market, mostly because the brand does not get the attention it once did. That lack of hype hides one of the most practical long-term ownership options available to buyers in the United States who care more about dependability than image. Reliability is where the Outlander quietly proves its value. Mitsubishi relies on well-tested mechanical setups rather than chasing constant changes. This reduces long-term risk and keeps major failures uncommon when maintenance is handled on time. Many owners report steady ownership past 100,000 miles without expensive surprises, which is exactly what budget-focused buyers want. Affordability is another major reason this SUV deserves a second look. The starting price sits in the low $30,000 range, making it one of the more accessible options in its size class. Another overlooked strength is the Outlander's calm ownership record. It avoids frequent recalls and large-scale complaints that hurt resale and trust. That quiet track record keeps it off viral videos and headlines, but it works strongly in favor of real owners who want stability. The Outlander also appeals to buyers who plan to keep their SUV long-term. It does not pressure owners into constant upgrades or repairs, which is becoming rare in the current SUV market. In 2026, the Mitsubishi Outlander stands as a sensible choice for buyers who want affordable reliability without noise or regret. Number 8. Mazda CX-30. The Mazda CX-30 is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, mainly because it gets lost between larger and more popular nameplates. For 2026, it remains one of the smartest choices for buyers in the United States who want low ownership stress without paying inflated prices. Reliability is a major reason the CX-30 deserves more attention. Mazda keeps this SUV mechanically simple and avoids experimental systems that often fail early. That decision shows up over time. Owners commonly report smooth ownership past 100,000 miles with routine service and very few serious complaints. Affordability is another quiet advantage. The starting price sits in the high $20,000 range, which is becoming rare in today's SUV market. That lower entry cost is only part of the story. Insurance rates tend to stay reasonable, fuel expenses remain controlled, and maintenance costs are lower than many rivals. Over several years, those savings can easily reach thousands of dollars. What really causes the CX-30 to be overlooked is its low noise factor. The CX-30 also appeals to buyers who value predictability. It does not feel fragile, and it does not demand constant attention to keep running properly. In 2026, the Mazda CX-30 stands out as a smart, affordable, and reliable SUV that most buyers overlook for no good reason. Number 7. Buick Encore GX. The Buick Encore GX is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, largely because the Buick badge still carries outdated assumptions. In the 2026 market, this SUV quietly delivers what many American buyers actually need: reasonable pricing, low ownership stress, and dependable daily use without constant issues. Reliability is one of the Encore GX's strongest points. Buick uses proven engines and transmissions that have already seen years of real-world use. That lowers the risk of early failures and keeps long-term maintenance predictable. Owners often report smooth ownership well past 100,000 miles when basic service schedules are followed, which is exactly what budget-focused buyers want. Affordability is another reason this SUV deserves more attention. The starting price sits in the high $20,000 range, making it accessible in a segment where costs keep rising fast. Another reason the Encore GX is overlooked is its quiet ownership record. It rarely makes headlines for recalls or widespread mechanical problems. That lack of drama keeps it out of online debates, but it strongly benefits owners who just want a vehicle that works without stress. In 2026, the Buick Encore GX remains a solid choice for buyers who want affordable reliability without noise or regret. Number 6. Chevrolet Trailblazer. The Chevrolet Trailblazer is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, mostly because it gets overshadowed by larger and louder models in the same brand. For 2026, it stands out as a practical option for buyers in the United States who want manageable costs and dependable long-term use. Reliability is a key reason the Trailblazer deserves more credit. Chevrolet kept this SUV mechanically conservative, avoiding overly complex systems that tend to age poorly. When maintained on schedule, owners often report stable performance past 100,000 miles without major mechanical failures. Affordability plays a big role in its appeal. The starting price sits in the high $20,000 range, which keeps entry costs reasonable. Beyond the sticker, ownership expenses stay controlled. The Trailblazer is also overlooked because it does not generate drama. It is rarely linked to widespread recalls or constant owner complaints. Another strength is how easy it is to live with year after year. It does not demand constant updates or expensive fixes, and it holds up well under daily use. In 2026, the Chevrolet Trailblazer remains a smart pick for buyers who want affordable reliability without unnecessary complications. Number 5. Toyota Corolla Cross. The Toyota Corolla Cross is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, mainly because it carries a quiet reputation rather than flashy appeal. For 2026, it continues to be one of the safest long-term ownership bets in the United States, even though many buyers skip past it during shopping. Reliability is the biggest reason this SUV deserves more respect. Toyota built the Corolla Cross using proven systems that prioritize longevity over excitement. This results in fewer mechanical surprises and lower risk as mileage climbs. Owners regularly report smooth ownership well beyond 100,000 miles with only routine maintenance, which is exactly what cost-conscious buyers want. Affordability is another major strength. The starting price sits in the high $20,000 range, keeping it accessible in a market where SUVs keep getting more expensive. Ownership costs remain low as well. Insurance rates are among the most reasonable in the segment, fuel spending stays controlled, and service costs are typically lower than average. Over time, those savings add up significantly. Another reason the Corolla Cross is overlooked is its lack of controversy. It does not show up in recall headlines or owner complaint forums very often. That calm ownership record may seem boring online, but it creates confidence for buyers who plan to keep their SUV for many years. In 2026, the Toyota Corolla Cross remains one of the most sensible, affordable, reliable SUVs that buyers continue to ignore. Number 4. Kia Sportage. The Kia Sportage is an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, mostly because people still judge it based on old assumptions. In the 2026 market, this SUV has matured into a dependable long-term option for buyers in the United States who want value without constant repair worries. Reliability has improved significantly over the years, and the Sportage now benefits from proven engines and drivetrains that have already seen real-world use. Kia avoided unnecessary complexity here, which helps keep failures and surprise repairs in check. Many owners report consistent performance well past 100,000 miles with basic maintenance, making it a safer long-term choice than many expect. Affordability is another strong reason to consider the Sportage. The starting price sits in the low $30,000 range, which undercuts several competitors offering similar size and capability. Ownership costs stay reasonable too. The Sportage also fits buyers who want a dependable daily vehicle without chasing trends. It does its job consistently and avoids the kind of issues that turn ownership into a headache. In 2026, The Kia Sportage stands as an affordable, reliable SUV that many buyers overlook, even though it delivers exactly what long-term owners need. Number 3. Subaru Forester. The Subaru Forester is the kind of SUV people walk past at the dealership, then end up wishing they had bought years later. In 2026, it remains one of the most affordable, reliable SUVs everyone overlooks, not because it lacks ability, but because it feels too sensible in a market obsessed with hype. What separates the Forester from many rivals is how well it holds together over time. Subaru has spent years refining this platform instead of constantly reinventing it. The result is an SUV that owners routinely drive past 100,000 miles without major mechanical drama. It is known more for consistency than excitement, and that is exactly why long-term owners trust it. Pricing also plays in its favor. The Forester starts in the low $30,000 range, which keeps it within reach for most buyers. The real advantage shows up later. Insurance tends to stay reasonable, fuel costs remain predictable, and maintenance does not spiral out of control as mileage climbs. It is one of those vehicles that costs less to own than people expect. The Forester also avoids the usual online noise. It rarely becomes the subject of viral complaints or recall panic. That silence often makes it invisible during shopping, but it is a sign of stability. People who buy one usually keep it, and that says more than any review score. The reason it gets overlooked is simple: it does not try to impress anyone. It just works day after day, year after year. In 2026, the Subaru Forester remains a smart pick for buyers who care more about long-term reliability than short-term excitement. Number 2. Mazda CX-5. The Mazda CX-5 is a familiar name that somehow still gets ignored when real buying decisions are made. In 2026, it continues to be one of the most affordable, reliable SUVs everyone overlooks, not because it is flawed, but because people assume they already know it. What keeps the CX-5 relevant is how well it ages. Mazda has resisted the urge to overcomplicate this SUV, and that shows in long-term ownership. High-mileage examples are common, and serious mechanical complaints are not. Pricing also works quietly in the CX-5's favor. It starts in the low $30,000 range, but the real value comes later. Insurance rates stay reasonable, fuel spending stays under control, and maintenance costs remain predictable even as miles add up. Compared to trend-driven rivals, it simply costs less to live with. Another reason people skip past the CX-5 is familiarity. It does not feel new or dramatic, and that works against it online. But that same familiarity means problems are well understood and largely avoided. There are no widespread reliability scares hanging over it, which is rare in this segment. Buyers who choose the CX-5 often do so for practical reasons, then stay loyal because the SUV never gives them a reason to regret it. It just keeps showing up and doing its job. In 2026, the Mazda CX-5 remains a reminder that the best long-term choices are often hiding in plain sight. Number 1. Hyundai Tucson. The Hyundai Tucson sits at the top of this list because it is the SUV most people underestimate, then end up respecting after years of ownership. In 2026, it stands as an affordable, reliable SUV everyone overlooks, mainly because buyers still carry old opinions that no longer match reality. Hyundai has spent years fixing what used to hold the brand back, and the Tucson shows the result of that work. Owners regularly report long stretches of trouble-free driving, even as mileage climbs, with no pattern of major failures when maintenance is kept simple and on time. Price is another reason the Tucson makes sense. It starts in the low $30,000 range, placing it right where value-focused buyers want to be. The bigger win comes after purchase. Insurance rates stay competitive, fuel costs remain predictable, and service expenses do not spiral as the vehicle ages. The Tucson also avoids the kind of negative attention that scares buyers away. It is rarely dragged into recall panic or constant complaint cycles. That silence is not exciting, but it is valuable. People who buy one tend to keep it, which tells you everything about how it holds up in real life. In 2026, the Hyundai Tucson earns its spot as a smart long-term choice for buyers who want reliability, value, and peace of mind. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.